Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna be reacting to a video called Asking Brits if they'd move to America. Okay, so I think like why wouldn't they? It's a nice place. I think there are some nice towns. I don't know if like nicer than anything you can find in Great Britain, but we're about to find out. So let's check it out and comment, like and subscribe.
Sod the Yanks.
Nope, because I am transgender.
If I was to go anywhere in America, like somewhere like Canada.
I don't like the culture, whether it's tipping, guns,
The guns is valid, but it's really funny that one of the reasons is like tipping culture. Like imagine hating tipping culture like so badly that you wouldn't consider moving to a place because you just do not like the tipping culture.
thoughts on abortion, nah.
Actually seems a bit more relaxed over there and open, doesn't it?
No, never.
I don't think that it's a climate that any young female in particular would want to grow up in.
In 2025, would you move to America?
No chance. I just think the climate is just really quite toxic at the moment. What's happening with like immigration and ICE, but also just like women's rights. It's just scary. My grandfather lives in the States. He actually was like, oh, potentially voting for Trump. Just the dichotomy of how it works and how citizens are interacting with the government and lack thereof is just really scary.
Nope, because
I agree, like especially her like coming like as the perspective from a woman, like it is scary out there. So you know what, I completely understand her.
I'm transgender.
Same reason, definitely not.
Would I?
And them as well, yes, you know, things are hard for a lot of like minorities and, you know, women, minorities. So it is, you know what, it's like, I kind of get it though.
Yeah, I think I would, yeah. I think the lifestyle out there, you know, it seems okay, you know.
Same as.
First people that they're like, actually, I would move there. I have to point out though that they are, I don't know how old they are, but they're clearly like a little bit older than the other people that they were asking me for. So maybe like older people do not care.
Yeah, different lifestyle. Actually seems a bit more relaxed over there and open, doesn't it?
I like the pack.
That's funny that they think it's more relaxed. I think it's the opposite. I think that life, I don't know if they're in London specifically, but I think like life over there is quite chill, right?
Cakes.
Yeah.
as long as it's not to do with Trump, yeah.
Never. No. It's just scary.
Never.
You don't have like free speech.
I agree. I won't move there.
It's quite crazy to see the perspective from like outsiders. Like there's no free speech, period.
Nice to look at. You'd step over there and you already lose like 10 of the rights that you have here.
Oh no interest in moving there. It's a complete hole. No, I'm alright. I'm content here. No, I would never move to America. There's nothing about.
It's really funny. He's like, no, I have no need. I'm happy here. Which, you know what? That's so valid. It's like, I'm really happy here. So why would I move somewhere else?
America that I think I would prefer over here. Like literally nothing.
Absolutely not, to be honest. I can't stand them. I feel really sorry for you. Sod the Yanks.
No.
Okay, that was harsh. You're like, I'm actually sorry for you.
Don't think it's a very safe place to be right now. There's a lot going on politically, and I feel like as a woman I wouldn't feel that safe.
I don't think
Second woman, that's like, I wouldn't move there. Like, no rights.
current climate comes into it for me, but it would be a no, just simply time zones, and it's just very far away from my family.
Time zones, I think that's really interesting because I think the opposite. I think like Europe has like a crazy schedule.
Friends and things like that.
Maybe if it was like New York, I don't think I'd want to move anywhere like Texas. Anywhere.
Who wants to move to Texas? No, I'm sorry. Yes, no shade to Texas, but yeah, of course. Like if you're comparing like apples and oranges.
Super scary like that.
Not at the moment. I'm not particularly interested in going to the US at all at the moment, so maybe not. I just
I like him. He was very polite. He's like, I am not interested in that.
you know, political environment at the moment. The obvious things. It's just doesn't seem a very friendly place.
No way. People getting killed and stuff like that. Nah, no way. I'll stay away from America for now.
Oh my God, they're getting killed. Okay, hold on. Like no one's getting. Well, I mean, some people of course are getting killed, but he was like, we're getting killed. Oh my God, why? Hold on. Like it just escalated quite quickly.
Absolutely, no way. You know, our age group. So it's a place I'd like to visit in the future, but I think at the moment the tensions are just too high with everything going.
Okay, they something good, positive. They were like, I would maybe go to visit in the future, you know, as a tourist, which, you know, nice.
I'd stay out of it personally.
No, I think I'll just stay out of it.
Yeah.
Stay here.
Maybe not. They need to wake up a bit, don't they? It's a bit mad out there.
No, it's just dead to me. Horrible.
No, I mean, you just can't say yes to that anymore. Definitely, like, you know, glitz and glam. It looks great, but they got so many issues there, man. That I just couldn't.
It's not glitz and glamour. It's only like how it's portrayed in the films, but in the real life, it's not really. It's not all that it's painted out to be. And I'm talking about like the medium, average, suburban, like American household. It's not like in the films.
Do it in good faith. Not anymore. Oh yeah, I mean, I think they've got the edge. Of course, we're not without our issues, and 100% there's 101 things wrong here as well. But America just seems to do it bigger and better, and that's the same with the issues they've got as well. So yeah, 100%.
Everything's bigger in Texas. Everything's bigger in the United States. Even the problems.
Staying this side of the pond.
No, I don't know. It's too. I feel like the rule. I'd probably get. I don't know. I'd be kicked out. But I wouldn't go with the rules. I wouldn't last a minute over there. I don't think it's definitely stricter over there than it is over here. 1000%. If I was to go anywhere in America, it'd be like maybe like Canada.
Yeah, probably New York. Love to live there, but obviously
too busy for me.
Obviously, the gun crime over there as well. It's, you know.
Okay, they're maybe not in London, because that guy was like, no, New York's way too busy. Which I think, like, if you live in London, I would assume they're similar. That second person to mention like New York is actually the only place they would actually kind of like, I would move there.
It's legal and that kind of puts you off, but yeah, I'd say New York. I'd love to live there.
Nah, I don't like the culture. Whether it's tipping, guns. The thoughts on abortion, nah.
I think guns here would be madness. It's already bad enough with knife crime. If you bring guns into this equation,
there's knife crime in London. That seems scary.
Not a good mix.
I think there's something like there's at least one shooting every single day in the States, and sadly, that idea of freedom and those historical ideas of freedom, the ideas of what a gun meant back when the Constitution was written. The Constitution isn't reflective of the society we live in today, and I think that's quite scary. In the UK, we don't have guns.
It is true. Then that's really one of the most valid points that you can make for like the Fifth Amendment and guns in general, just because, yes, what was true like way back in those days, like it isn't necessarily true like for this modern time period.
We're not hearing people talk about the right to hold a knife, but you would say that would be.
Okay, how bad is the gun violence in the UK? Because everyone acts like it's just like normal thing in the world.
The equivalent in the UK. So where is that parallel?
Gun violence, not with it. Say the wrong thing, you get shot. I'm a mouthy piece. So if I say anything wrong, I'll get gunned down, and I'm not for that.
Oh my god!
It's just the same as it's always been. It's no different. It's just it's in the news. That's all it is. It's the only difference. It's being like put out to people widely, but it's still the same as it always has been.
The gun. I think everyone would say that, but
yeah, he's like what, the third or fourth person to mention guns.
Well, yeah, even then, like rights and stuff are a bit more touch and go there. Yeah, the gun law is just ridiculous. That's absolutely fucking stupid. How guns are just allowed to be normalised. I just don't get how you can buy a gun in a shop. No, I would never.
Nobody understands.
No, I think it's crazy.
Once they got guns, I'm not a massive fan of guns.
They're very Republican, and I would rather not. And they have guns, and they're all just, a bit cringe in that way.
It's just.
I like it. She was like, I'd rather not. That's it.
Trump, obviously, their complete lax gun controls. I mean, I think it's obviously the stuff that we get served in the media.
What Trump is doing, and I think especially in the political climate at the moment, thinking back to our not so recent history, that's the word, the parallels are really quite scary in just what Trump is doing. I don't think that it's a climate that any young female in particular would want to grow up in.
If I don't like someone who's like ruling the country, why should I even go there?
Well, I think a lot of people are moving out of America. I mean, there's a lot of bad things going on with
maybe he's a tourist.
Trump. It's a lot of nonsense going around right now, and I feel sad about that. It's very embarrassing.
Yeah, because
I'm not for it at all. And when
maybe he lives there, but it's really interesting to like listen to his perspective as I am imagining an American person.
I travel, I feel like people are frowning upon me. Even though I didn't vote for him, I didn't vote for Trump. I'm against all of that. So it's a bit.
People automatically believe like, oh, you're from the United States. Oh, well, that's bad. And he's like, no, I'm not. Well, yes, but I'm not supporting Trump.
Alarming at the moment, but I don't blame people for not wanting to live there or move away right now.
Yeah,
I would move away, but I can't right now at the moment. I'm working. I don't like the idea of a dictatorship, and I don't want to be a part of that.
Who likes the idea of want a dictatorship. No one likes dictators.
And I think that might come into play later on, and people don't want to be a part of that either.
We are definitely worse culturally, and governmentally we are definitely getting as bad as them.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
America has definitely taken the first steps. Britain is slowly sliding down.
Yeah, I like Americans. They're good tippers, and I work in a bar, so on the whole,
He's like, I actually like tipping culture because they constantly tip, although they don't have to because in the UK, like, that's not a thing. But it's really interesting that they were like, this country is like going down the same path, which I think is crazy.
Americans have been quite nice to me, but only the ones that come to this country.
I can tolerate them. Some are nice.
I like the country. I kind of like the culture.
Yeah.
Everyone's talkative. Everyone's interested to speak to you.
We had an American person come into where we work at the weekend, and they were so loud. And you hear about it, and you're like, they're not all loud. He was really loud. He was so nice. He was really nice. So loud. Very grating.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the accent. They get on my nerves. They're just very like single-minded, I guess.
In terms of like landscape, they've got nice national parks. Yosemite, very nice.
The food looks alright, but if I ate too much of it, I think I'd become fat. So I don't know what's in it. So yeah.
When you talk to Americans, when you're over there, they love our pubs and what we've got over here. So there's that, we like what they've got. We've not quite got everything they've got, and likewise with them, they love our history, don't they? And
I mean, you can see the way the coffee culture's taking off now. Some of the pastries here now, they're awesome, aren't they? The culture is changing, I think.
Well, because again, you can't help that. It's globalization. But I'm like, what kind of pastries do they get over there that apparently are part of the American coffee culture?
And for the better.
Don't think it would be safe and conducive to a healthy lifestyle. And apparently they have no holidays. So that's awful.
Okay, valid. Okay, I love this video. It was a lot of valid answers. I think no one, everyone was pointing out really, actually, you know what? I think that you have a point. It wasn't them hating just to hate, but I'm surprised by the amount of people that actually we're absolutely not. I wouldn't move not a million years. I think that was really surprising to me because I know that yes, the political climate is really, it's really, you feel like you're a little bit walking on eggshells because it is there's a lot of sensitive subjects. It is hard, times are hard, I think, for everyone, but especially, again, in the United States, things are a little bit, rough, and again, there's, the political climate is very delicate right now, so I get it, but it's, even knowing that, I think it's quite surprising to me that, I think all of them, yeah, there was, only 2 people that out of, I don't know how many, were they interviewing, I don't know, at least 10, but only 2 of them were yeah, you know what? I think I would move to the United States because otherwise they were absolutely not. And it wasn't more not even well, you know what? I would have to think about it, but maybe we'll see. They were absolutely not. I would never. So it is kind of surprising to me that there's such a negative sort of answers I don't know if to call them negative as in in the sense of no negative, not in a negative sense as in oh it's positive or it's negative, no negative as in wow, how many people actually were absolutely not in a million years I want to move there, because again it's a political climate. But I think a lot of these, and a lot of them were actually, yes, it's absolutely because of that, either because they were their gender, their yes, abortions, there was a lot of for with either women or trans people, it was a little bit yes, I absolutely get it. But as for the others, I think it was really funny that some of them were just I hate the culture, I just do not like it. And of course that's completely valid. You can just say I don't really like the culture, it doesn't because you can say well, maybe if the political climate I think changes, and in the future obviously there's going to be another president, and there's the political and the laws themselves are they're constantly evolving, they're constantly changing. So you can maybe say oh well, maybe in the future, not right now, but maybe in 5-10 years, when things have changed or maybe cooled down a little bit, I would maybe go there. But no, some of them, which I find really funny, is they were no, I just do not like it. I do not like the culture. I do not like the country itself. I don't like how people live over there, which I think, again, it's completely valid. Yes, it's totally within your rights to be I just do not like it. And I think a lot of them, not to say like it was either, again, because of like the political climate, which, well, ties in a little bit, yes, of course, with the gun situation. I think the gun situation, but I think it goes a little bit deeper than the other things, because I think the other things have been because, again, things have been like very, very hard right now. There's a lot of conflict. But I think when it comes to like guns specifically, it's been something that's been around, like that problem's been around for like a bunch of years. So it's so ingrained into like in the American culture that I completely get it. A lot of them, I think most, not to say probably all of these, the people that they were talking to, they were like, I really do not like one of the things, because again, culturally it can be like a bunch of different things, but the gun situation, like that's the tipping point for a lot of these people. And they actually, they were telling us, yes, it's the guns. Like I don't really feel comfortable with the idea of everyone just, what are you talking about? Like everyone can just go to a store and just like buy a gun. I don't really feel comfortable with that. And again, like who would? Like, of course it's really not, it's unsafe. I know, and I know that, yes, there aren't, I don't know the statistics, is like if there's actually like one like shooting per day, but it is a problem, and that's really undeniable. It's not the news, it's not the media. No, it's actually a real thing that happens. Yes, the gun violence and the shootings themselves, they are a thing that happens in the US, like if not daily, basically every day. So I do understand them like by saying like, no, I just do not like guns, and I don't really feel comfortable living in a place that doesn't really have a strict like gun laws, which I think like, again, it's probably most people like, that's the difference between like moving somewhere and not, because I think obviously people value their safety. It's like valuing like someone's, your own safety and, your loved one's safety, like that's going to be a priority. And of course we can't control everything. Like that's just the way life goes. Like you can't control every single like little thing, but you want them to be as safe as possible. So you obviously want the odds stacked in your favor. And it's like, I don't want to stack them against us and against me by being in a place that doesn't really have like a strict like gun laws, because any crazy person can just like get a gun and then like shoot everyone, which is basically like that's the bread and butter for people in the United States. So I think like the gun situation, I think that's really the tipping point for all, if not most of these people. And I think like that speaks to like a greater cultural problem, sadly, because like I mentioned, yes, of course, like the president's gonna, they're in 3-4 years, like there's gonna be a new president, there's gonna be like other things like that. Again, a lot of like other different laws, the political climate's gonna change, it's gonna be different. But the guns are such ingrained, and I know, yes, there's been so much effort to change this, that I honestly don't really believe that it's going to change in the near future, because again, people are over there like, it's in our constitution, it's our constitutional right. But it's like, yeah, like the woman mentioned, one of the girls was like, what was true like back when the constitution was written in like in the 1700s, like that's not a real, like it's not reflected in our real lives. We like the founding fathers couldn't picture like our lives in this day and age. So why would we still sort of like kind of like try to rule and govern? Why would we allow like those rules to govern our lives, like especially with things like that? Because you can say, well, that's why it's the constitution. Like we have to have like a set of rules that are ingrained in like in the DNA of what this country actually means. And I think, yes, you can do that, but this specifically, like the gun situation, it's so completely out of control, and it affects this in this case negatively, as in like bad, so many people, that is like, yes, we should definitely change that. But again, I think the majority of people are just going to be against it, just because of that. They're like, no, it's our constitutional right, and it's my right, and it's about freedom. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure, but you need to know like when it's time to actually let go of certain things, and when are some basics and some tenets that are like, yes, that's a tenet, and it's good that they're still in place. But others, as in like the guns, the right to own a gun, like we live in a very different place than the founding fathers. So why would we sort of like allow them to actually rule our lives and create so much damage? So it's really interesting like to see that perspective. But it was wild to me seeing like everyone was like, I wouldn't move over there. It's like, yeah, And I get it. Like, I mean, I get it's a little shocking, but at the same time, I completely understand. It's like, yeah, the United States has got good positive things. Yes, absolutely. But again, at the same time, it has a lot of negative things. And I really do understand when people are like, I just wouldn't move there because I really do not like the culture itself. And it's like, yes, you know what? I agree. I definitely agree. I understand your point of view. And I still find it like a little bit shocking, but really, like, I get it. Like, I completely understand because yes, you're totally right. Like all the points they were mentioning, like, were valid. And it's like, yes, I understand them. And I'm not talking of like, oh, validity as in like, I'm listening. No. It's like, I get it. Like, trust me, I understand completely. So yes, that was really, but still like, wow, most people like wouldn't move over there just because again, the culture, they just don't like it. And I think it really goes to show how Americans just like get a bad rap and have been getting a bad rap. Like, I don't think it was the case like maybe a few years ago. But like in this day and age, like it comes with a negative connotation. And even the American guy was like, yeah, it's kind of sad because I don't really agree with like the politics of like Trump and Republicans, that they're the ones in charge right now. And I don't agree with them. But even if I don't agree, like when I always see people listen to me or I mentioned, yes, I'm from the United States, people automatically like have a little bit of like, and they treat him like poorly, or they just like, I don't know, just start insulting him. And he's like, I do not agree with him. I didn't vote for him. So it's kind of crazy. And it really goes to show like, again, how politically like divided everything is. And they're like, oh my God, being an American like has such a bad and negative connotation that is like best if you like, you have to take care of yourself. Be like, I'm sorry, I'm an American guy living here or visiting, but I promise I do not agree with the politics. It's like, okay, well, good to know. But I think like I'll finish up by saying like two things. I would love if they ask the same question in the United States and see how many people would actually would you move to the UK? I think like the UK, I was like, yes, it's the UK. I don't know if England specifically or just the UK because I don't really know like where they were exactly. But it would be very funny for to ask Americans the same question and see how it is, because I would say most, well, maybe not most, but I think like at least half of them would be like, yeah, why wouldn't I? Maybe I would consider it. Yeah, sure. I don't know if I would get like flat out like no, absolutely no. I do not like the culture, as we're seeing in the opposite sort of like way. I hardly doubt it, but I don't know. Would love to know. And the other is like the knife violence. I don't know if it's England, the UK, just London. Again, a little. I do not know anything about this. Apparently, it's a thing. I'm a little scared now. I did not know it was that bad because several people mentioned it. So it makes me think, oh, okay, it is a real problem, and knife violence is really bad. But as in like gangs, or do they just sort of like they're trying to like rob you, and they'll, instead of a gun, they'll bring a knife and they'll like stab you? How many stabbings are there? Like weekly, daily? It's something that I should be scared of. Like what? I'm a little like, I would love to know more, just because I would love to know like again how it started, how it is it a real problem, and if you ever visit the UK, should you be worried? I think those are like my main things. And also like again, the coffee culture that the guy was mentioning, he spoke about a lot of like how culture sort of like evolves, and you can't really change that. That's just like, again, it's in the name, it evolves. And globalization, and as people move around places, and you move from, maybe like a lot of people just grew up in several places, or you grew up and you moved somewhere else. But the whole thing is like, it makes it so that people do not have to like spend their whole lives in just one particular place. And that comes in dubs, right? Like there's a lot of immigrants, or just, most probably immigrants, but immigrants, tourists, whatever, like there's more mobility in this like day and age. So of course it's going to affect and it's going to influence every single city and every single country. So it makes me very intrigued to be like, to hear him say that coffee culture, like that wasn't really a thing in London or in the UK. I don't know what culture they're referring, because I think like, well, did they just like they flat out like didn't drink any coffee because everyone drank tea, which I would assume is the norm over there, and now people are drinking more coffee, and is that what maybe that's what he meant. And of course, like the pastries, which I'm like, I don't know, like a Danish, but Danish are like everywhere, right? I wouldn't consider that specifically an American thing. Or maybe like it's an apple pie, but an apple pie is just like a pie. I don't know. I would love to know what pastries this guy was talking about, because I'm very curious. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.